Have you ever felt like you've been giving and giving, only to realize that some relationships aren't as fulfilling as you thought? Or perhaps you've noticed how your sense of happiness and connection has shifted over time. What if the key to living a more peaceful and purposeful life lies not in gaining more, but in learning to let go? In today's video, I'm going to share the life lessons I've learned over decades. Lessons that took years to fully understand but are now crystal clear. From discovering the power of solitude to understanding the importance of setting boundaries, these lessons have shaped the way I approach relationships, happiness, and my own sense of self. This isn't just a collection of personal stories. It's a journey towards finding inner peace and clarity. As we age, our perspective on life evolves, and the wisdom that comes with it is priceless. In this video, you'll learn why solitude isn't something to fear, why trust has a different meaning as we grow older, and how socializing changes as we value quality over quantity. Stick around until the end because I'll share how these lessons have transformed my life, and how they can help you navigate your journey. Whether you're 21 or 71, the insights I'll discuss are timeless. By the end of this video, you'll understand why peace, authenticity, and meaningful connections are the keys to a fulfilling life. So, if you're ready to reflect on your journey and learn how to embrace the wisdom of age, watch this video until the end. Let's get started. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Let go of resentment. Letting go of resentment is one of the most profound, transformative, and healing acts you can undertake in your life. Resentment is a silent, often unseen thief, slowly and steadily stealing away your peace, your joy, and even your health. It begins like a tiny seed, planted deep in your heart, nourished by memories of betrayal, unkind words, and actions that felt unfair or hurtful. Over time, this seed grows into something much darker and more powerful. An unrelenting weight, a burden so heavy that it begins to rob you of your ability to live freely, embrace life with love, and enjoy the small, beautiful moments that make life worth living. And yet, despite how damaging it is, there is something oddly familiar about holding on to resentment. It's almost as if we find comfort in it, like we are protecting some old wound from being healed. We believe that by holding on, we're making the person who wronged us pay for their actions. But the truth is, the only person being punished by resentment is ourselves. Resentment, when held onto, is like clutching a burning coal in your hand, planning to throw it at someone else. But here's the catch. That coal doesn't burn the other person, it burns you. It is you who suffers, who endures the physical and emotional toll of that unresolved anger. The bitterness and frustration seep into your soul, invading your thoughts, your actions, and the way you interact with the world. You think you're hurting the other person, but you're only hurting yourself. It's like a shadow that refuses to leave, lurking in the corners of your mind, waiting for the right moment to remind you of past wrongs. It invades your thoughts at the most unexpected times, showing up when you're trying to enjoy a peaceful moment or when you're about to achieve something great. And it doesn't stop there. It can manifest in your physical body as well. Tension in your chest, an unsettled stomach, difficulty sleeping. These are the signs of resentment taking its toll on your well-being. Research has shown that holding onto resentment can lead to chronic stress and anxiety, and even increase your risk of serious health issues like heart disease. But what is even more heartbreaking is the emotional cost of resentment. It steals your freedom, your ability to move forward, and your ability to experience true happiness. It ties you to the past, preventing you from living fully in the present. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. Many believe that forgiving someone means excusing their behavior or forgetting the hurt they caused. But that's not what forgiveness is about at all. Forgiveness doesn't mean pretending that nothing happened. It doesn't mean letting the person back into your life or forgetting how their actions affected you. Forgiveness is not about the other person. It is a deeply personal act. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself. It is the decision to stop letting someone else's hurtful actions have power over you. It's a conscious choice to free yourself from the chains of anger, bitterness, and resentment. Forgiveness is the most beautiful act of self-love, a powerful statement that you refuse to let the past dictate your present or your future. By forgiving, you release the power that the past has over you, and in its place, you make room for something much more precious: peace. Imagine the profound sense of freedom and release that comes with truly letting go. Take a moment to think about that person or situation that still haunts you, that one that you can't seem to forget no matter how much time passes. Maybe it's a friend who betrayed your trust, a family member whose harsh words still cut deep, or perhaps even a younger version of yourself, someone you've judged for the mistakes you made in the past. Now, visualize yourself gently setting that burden down. See it fading away into the distance, becoming smaller and smaller until it's no longer a weight you carry. Can you feel the lightness in your heart, the ease in your mind? Imagine waking up without the constant, gnawing pain of old wounds. Picture yourself moving through your day with a sense of freedom you've never felt before, smiling more easily, and laughing without hesitation. What would that be like? This is the power of letting go. Although it's not an easy journey, it is one of the most healing and transformative things you can do for yourself. Letting go of resentment is not something that happens overnight. It is a process, a gradual journey that requires patience, self-compassion, and time. It starts with acknowledging the hurt, the pain, the betrayal, the injustice, and saying to yourself, yes, this happened. Yes, it hurt. And yes, it mattered. It's important to allow yourself to feel all the emotions tied to that pain: anger, sadness, confusion, and to permit yourself to grieve. You've been carrying this emotional weight for so long, and it's okay to mourn the hurt it caused. But then, gently remind yourself that you are not living in that moment anymore. The hurt may have been part of your story, but it does not have to define the rest of your journey. Forgiveness is not a one-time event. It is a practice. Some days, it will feel easier to forgive, and other days, the pain will come rushing back. On those days, it's okay. It's normal. But each time you choose to release even a little bit of resentment, you are healing. You are moving forward. And you should celebrate those moments. They are small victories on the path to emotional freedom. Each time you forgive, you reclaim a piece of your peace. Letting go also involves changing the way you think about the past. Ask yourself, what have I learned from this experience? How has this pain shaped me into the person I am today? The truth is that some of our deepest wounds have the power to lead to our greatest growth. When you stop viewing your scars as weaknesses, but instead as evidence of your strength and resilience, resentment loses its power. It can no longer control you because you have transformed it into a lesson. It is no longer a chain that holds you back. It is a reminder of how far you've come. To let go of resentment is to reclaim your power. It is a courageous act of self-love, a statement that you will no longer allow someone else's actions to dictate the course of your life. It is an invitation to step into the present moment, free from the weight of past wrongs. Imagine what it would be like to live a life unburdened by the bitterness of resentment. Picture yourself walking through life with a light heart, a free spirit, and a smile that is not forced, but genuine. Can you see it? Can you feel it? Letting go of resentment is the key to unlocking a future full of possibility, peace, and joy. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Resentment may have walked with you for years, whispering its poison in your ear, but it doesn't have to stay. Today, right now, can be the day you decide to loosen its grip. It doesn't have to control your thoughts, your emotions, or your life any longer. It's time to let it go, for your health, for your happiness, and for your well-being. You have carried this burden long enough, and you don't have to carry it anymore. Take that first step. 1 breath, 1 thought, one act of forgiveness at a time. You are worthy of peace, of joy, of emotional freedom. So take a deep breath and release it. It's time to let go, for you, for your heart, for your future. You deserve to be free. 2. Let go of past sorrows. The past. What a complex and multifaceted realm it is. We return to it so often, don't we? It's a place we visit with a bittersweet familiarity, one that holds our deepest joys and our most painful wounds. We remember the laughter, the warmth of love, the sense of belonging, and also the sharp sting of regret, the hollow ache of loss, and the wounds that have yet to fully heal. For many of us, aging isn't just about watching the years stack up behind us. It's about carrying the weight of those years, of the choices we've made, the people we've loved, and the opportunities we let slip through our fingers. It's about the memories we can't escape, no matter how hard we try. Sometimes, this burden feels so heavy, and at times it seems unbearable. The weight of past mistakes, the relationships we couldn't mend, the people we've lost, and the dreams we couldn't fulfill can hold us captive, preventing us from truly embracing life as it is now. But here's the painful truth we often try to avoid. When we keep dwelling in the past, we miss out on the beauty of the present and the promise of the future. To live in the past is to ignore the precious moments unfolding around us, to trap ourselves in a place where joy feels distant and hope becomes an elusive dream. Letting go of past sorrows doesn't mean denying that they ever existed or pretending that they didn't matter. That would be untrue to the essence of who we are as human beings. Our past experiences, both the good and the bad, are integral to our story. They have shaped us, yes, but they do not define us. Letting go means accepting that life is not an endless cycle of joy or sorrow. It is a mosaic of beautiful and painful moments, all of which contribute to the person you have become. It's about allowing yourself to focus on the pieces that shine brightly and recognizing that there is still so much more to live for, more beauty to discover, and more love to experience. The act of letting go can be overwhelming, especially when you think of the moments that still haunt you, those regrets that cling to your soul like heavy stones in your pockets. A conversation left unfinished, words that you wish you had spoken but didn't. A decision that, if taken differently, might have changed the course of your life. A loved one lost too soon, leaving a space that you can never fill. These sorrows are threads woven into the fabric of your life, each one contributing to the texture of your existence. But while these sorrows are part of your story, they are not the entirety of it. They are chapters in the grand narrative of your life, but they are not the final act. The weight of these sorrows may feel crushing at times, but they are not the full measure of who you are or who you are destined to become. Grieving, yes, it's natural and necessary. But staying rooted in grief, unable to move forward, means you allow those past sorrows to overshadow the beauty of what still lies ahead. It's like standing in a garden after a terrible storm. The storm has torn branches from trees, trampled the flowers, and left the ground in disarray. But despite the destruction, the garden can still heal. New life begins to sprout where once there was only ruin. This is the power of resilience, the quiet, gentle ability to rebuild, to renew, and to find hope where there was once only loss. Your heart is no different. Yes, past sorrows have left their marks. You may still carry the weight of them, and perhaps some scars will never completely fade. But that doesn't mean you can't allow new joys to bloom in the soil of your heart. It doesn't mean that you cannot find space for hope, for love, for peace, and foments of sheer, unadulterated happiness. The process of letting go starts with acceptance. Accepting that the past is unchangeable and that there is nothing you can do to undo what has already been done. Accepting that sorrow is an inherent part of being human. It is a testament to how deeply you have loved, how fully you have lived, and how fully you have given yourself to the world. You have loved and loved deeply, and that love is not to be erased. But acceptance also means realizing that you are stronger than your past. You are not defined by your mistakes, your losses, or your regrets. You are more than the sum of your sorrows. You have the strength to move forward. You can carry the lessons of the past with you, while also leaving behind the pain. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It is a declaration of your inner strength and resilience. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the ability to focus on the present. The present is where life truly happens. The place where you can feel the warmth of the sun on your face, the cool breeze on your skin, the embrace of a loved one, the joy in a child's laughter, and the simple peace of just being. These small, fleeting moments are gifts that we so often overlook when we are consumed by the pain of the past. But when you choose to let go of those old sorrows, you free yourself to experience the beauty of the now. Life is happening all around you, right here, right now. If you let go of past grief, you open your heart to these small joys, these moments of peace, love, and connection that fill your life with meaning and purpose. Letting go of the past is not about forgetting it, but about acknowledging it without allowing it to keep you from experiencing the fullness of today. It is also helpful to reframe your story. Instead of seeing the past as a collection of painful moments, try viewing it through the lens of your resilience. You've survived heartache, you've endured loss, and you've faced challenges that many others could not. And through it all, you kept moving forward. You did not break. You grew. Each sorrow you have faced has made you stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Each struggle has shaped you into the person you are today. The person who can face the future with courage, knowing that you have the power to overcome whatever lies ahead. Letting go doesn't mean that you dismiss your pain. It simply means acknowledging that your story is bigger than any single chapter, no matter how painful it may have been. You are more than your heartaches. You are the sum of all the lessons you've learned, the wisdom you've gained, and the love you've shared. Perhaps one of the hardest things about letting go is the fear that by doing so, you are losing your connection to what you have lost. You might worry that by releasing the sorrow, you are somehow dishonoring the people or moments that have meant the most to you. But here's the truth. Letting go of sorrow does not mean letting go of love. Love is not bound by time, space, or circumstance. Love is eternal. It exists within you, a quiet, unshakable strength that carries you through your days. The love you share with others, the love that continues to live within you, will never vanish. You do not need to hold on to the sorrow to keep the love alive. The love remains, just as strong and enduring as it ever was. By choosing to focus on the love, rather than the loss, you honor the people and moments that have shaped you. Letting go is not a betrayal of those memories. It is an act of courage. It's telling yourself that, while you carry the past within you, you are also worthy of living fully in the present, of embracing the future. You are not defined by what you've lost, but by how you choose to live in the face of that loss. Life is a precious, fragile thing, and each moment is a gift. As you breathe at this moment, let the past rest gently in its place. You've given it enough of your time, your energy, your tears, and your heart. Now, it's time to turn your face toward the light of today, to breathe in the possibilities that await you. Let the sorrows of yesterday fade into the background, where they belong so that the beauty of now can take center stage. Life is waiting for you, right here and right now. Step forward, with courage and grace, and embrace it with everything you've got. You deserve the joy, the love, and the peace that life has to offer. Step into today with your heart open wide, and allow the future to unfold before you with all its infinite promise. 3. Let go of meaningless relationships. Life, in its unyielding march forward, has a remarkable way of showing us what truly matters, and who truly matters. When we are younger, we often find ourselves surrounded by a sea of people. Friends, colleagues, acquaintances, and even fleeting companions who come and go. At that stage in life, it's easy to fall into the illusion that the more connections we have, the fuller and richer our lives are. We convince ourselves that being surrounded by a crowd equates to success, validation, to belonging. But as time goes by, as we mature and experience more of life's ups and downs, we come to understand a powerful truth. It is not the sheer quantity of relationships that brings us lasting joy, but the quality of the connections we hold close to our hearts. Some relationships, as we grow older, begin to feel hollow. They no longer bring the joy or fulfillment they once did. And that's okay. Not every person who enters our lives is meant to stay forever. The people who once held significance may no longer fit into the story of who we are becoming. Time has an incredible way of peeling away the layers and showing us the truth. As we grow older, it becomes increasingly clear we must choose. Do we continue carrying relationships that drain us, relationships that weigh us down like stones in a backpack? Or do we free ourselves to focus on the connections that truly nurture our souls, that replenish our energy, and that help us grow into the best version of ourselves? Letting go of meaningless relationships is not about harboring bitterness or passing judgment. It is about self-respect. It is about recognizing that our time, energy, and love are precious commodities, deserving of being spent on the people who uplift us, who celebrate us, who make us feel seen and heard. Life is too short to invest in relationships that no longer serve us, and that no longer bring us peace or joy. It is an act of deep self-love and wisdom to let go of those connections that no longer nourish us and to make space for the relationships that truly matter. You may find that, as the years go by, the people you once called close friends no longer feel like true companions. Some have faded into the background, drifting away without a word, while others have shown their true colors, revealing that their presence in your life was more about convenience or self-interest than about a genuine bond. Letting go of these relationships might feel like a painful loss, and there may be moments of doubt. But in truth, you are not losing anything of value. In releasing these relationships, you are making room for something far more meaningful, far more fulfilling. It's not about the number of friends you have. It's about the depth of the connections you cultivate, the ones that bring light into your life rather than casting shadows. The process of letting go starts with self-awareness. It begins with acknowledging when a relationship no longer adds peace or joy to your life. Pay attention to the feelings that arise when you interact with someone. Do you leave those moments feeling drained, criticized, or unappreciated? Or do you feel supported, loved, and understood? Trust your intuition. If a relationship feels one-sided, if it lacks the mutual respect, care, and understanding that you deserve, it's time to release it. And I know, it's not easy. The fear of letting go, the guilt of stepping away from relationships that have been part of your life for years, can feel overwhelming. But remember this, relationships are meant to be a source of nourishment, not of burden. They are meant to uplift you, to empower you, not to weigh you down. When you finally free yourself from relationships that are toxic or unfulfilling, you open up space in your heart and your life for the people who truly matter. These are the ones who accept you for who you are, who share your values, and who contribute positively to your happiness and growth. These are the relationships worth investing in, worth nurturing, worth protecting. And the beauty is that the more you let go of those that no longer serve you, the more room you create for relationships that will deeply nourish you. This space, these new connections, are what will bring you peace, joy, and fulfillment in the years to come. As we age, we begin to understand that life isn't about collecting people, but about forging meaningful, supportive, and authentic relationships. The time has come to cherish the people who truly deserve our love and attention and to gracefully, yet firmly, let go of those who no longer do. It's a powerful act of self-love, and one that will bring you closer to the life you've always deserved. One filled with genuine connections and unshakable peace. 4. Let go of the fear of the future. As we grow older, we are often confronted by an overwhelming array of fears. Fears that seem to sneak up on us, silently eroding our sense of peace. The fear of losing our health, of becoming irrelevant in a world that moves so quickly, of being a burden to the people we love, and perhaps most haunting of all, the fear of leaving this world without having accomplished all we dreamed of. These fears are not only natural but, in many ways, they seem inevitable. They grow over time, feeding off the uncertainty that clouds our view of the future. The older we get, the more these fears tend to grip us, and before we realize it, they take root in our hearts and minds. But living in constant fear of what lies ahead can rob us of the very thing we have today. It steals away the peace and joy that we can experience right now. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. It's an all too familiar feeling. The moment we start thinking about the future, our minds race with worries about the years we have left and whether we'll have enough time to fulfill our dreams. We find ourselves worrying about our health, the stability of our finances, and the state of our relationships. The fear of what might happen tomorrow looms larger than life itself. But fear, as much as it feels real and consuming, is ultimately a natural part of being human. It's normal to worry about the future, but if we let it consume us, it can paralyze us and wrap us into a cycle of anxiety that stops us from truly living. Most often, fear stems from our lack of control over the future. We want to know what's ahead, to feel like we can predict and prepare for what's coming. We crave security and comfort, and the unknown feels like a dangerous abyss. Yet, the truth is that life is never fully predictable. The future is filled with unknowns, and that's the essence of what makes it both terrifying and beautiful. We can't see what tomorrow holds, nor can we guarantee what our lives will look like in 5 or 10 years. But the one thing we can control is how we choose to face the future and how we decide to approach each day. The first step in letting go of the fear of the future is accepting that uncertainty is an inherent part of life. It's not something to dread, but rather something to embrace. Life is a journey of unknowns, and it is precisely in this uncertainty that all possibility resides. The future is an unwritten story, and while we can't control every page, we can certainly influence how we write our chapters. Letting go of the fear of what may come allows us to live more fully in the present. This moment, the only one that truly matters. Fear often arises when we focus too much on what could go wrong. We replay worst-case scenarios in our minds, allowing them to spiral out of control. But imagine what would happen if we shifted our focus. What if we chose to think about what could go right? The future, though unpredictable, is not just a land of potential pain, but a place where dreams can come true. Perhaps there are places you've always wanted to visit, people you long to reconnect with, or simple moments with family and friends that you've been too busy to fully appreciate. When we let go of the fear of the future, we permit ourselves to dream, plan, and enjoy the beauty of the present without constantly looking over our shoulders at what might go wrong tomorrow. Living in fear of the future can prevent us from truly experiencing life. It creates unnecessary stress and anxiety, and can even take a toll on our health. It fills our minds with what-ifs, trapping us in a state of constant worry. But the future is not all doom and gloom. Yes, it's uncertain, but it is also filled with endless possibilities. By choosing to release the fear that binds us, we free ourselves to live fully in the here and now. Only then can we open our hearts to whatever comes next, walking forward with courage and hope, ready to embrace the unknown with open arms? In my personal experience, I have found that the more I release my fear of the future, the more I can appreciate each moment. The future, with all its uncertainties, no longer feels like a threat, but a blank canvas where I can paint my path. Sure, there are still moments of doubt, moments when I wonder if I've done enough or if there's enough time left. But those moments are fleeting. When I focus on what I can do today, I realize that every small action I take now has the power to shape the future in ways I never imagined. The fear of what lies ahead has a way of dissipating when we choose to live with intention, joy, and a sense of gratitude for the gift of today. So let go of that fear. Embrace uncertainty, for in that space of unknowns lies all the possibilities the world has to offer. The future is unwritten, but we have the power to make it beautiful. 5. Let go of the need for approval. As we grow older, there comes a time when we become more at ease with ourselves. We start to feel comfortable in our skin, recognizing the person we have become through years of experiences, challenges, and growth. The lessons we've learned, whether through hardship, joy, or simply navigating the everyday complexities of life, help us understand what truly matters to us. We learn what we value, what brings us peace, what sparks our joy, and what aligns with our sense of purpose. Yet, despite this newfound sense of self-assurance, there remains a part of us that still craves approval from others. It's almost as if we can't entirely shake off the desire for validation from people, our family, friends, colleagues, and even society at large. This desire can often be so deeply ingrained in our psyche that we may not even realize how much it still influences our choices, our actions, and sometimes even our sense of worth. The need for approval is an incredibly powerful, yet often hidden, force in our lives. It shows up in the smallest, most subtle ways, often without our conscious awareness. We find ourselves seeking validation from others, whether it's in the form of compliments, acknowledgement, or approval of our actions, appearance, or decisions. For some, this manifests as the yearning to fit in, to be liked, to gain the admiration of those around us. We may feel the urge to conform, to dress a certain way, to speak in a particular manner, or to engage in behaviors that align with the expectations of our social circles. This desire for approval often starts at a young age, when we are taught, sometimes unconsciously, that our worth is reflected in how others see us. From the time we are children, we are conditioned to seek out praise and attention, believing that being validated by others is a sign of being valued and loved. In many ways, this need for approval becomes a cycle we carry with us into adulthood. It creeps into our personal lives, our careers, and even the way we interact with strangers. We look to others for reassurance, for confirmation that we are making the right choices, or simply to hear that we are doing okay. The problem arises when this desire becomes the driving force behind our decisions, pushing us to prioritize what others think of us over what we truly need or want for ourselves. We may find ourselves saying yes to things we don't want to do, simply to please someone else. We may push ourselves to conform to societal standards that don't align with our authentic selves, all to feel accepted and valued. At times, it may even lead us to question our worth, wondering if we are enough without the validation of others. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. However, as we grow older and wiser, there is a profound realization that begins to take shape. We start to understand that the only approval that truly matters is our own. This realization comes from the deep knowing that we cannot depend on others to define our happiness, our value, or our sense of self-worth. It's a powerful shift, a moment where we recognize that no one else has the right to dictate how we feel about ourselves. We begin to question why we have placed so much importance on the opinions of others, and we see how much power we have been surrendering to people who may not even have our best interests at heart. We begin to recognize that the approval of others is often fleeting and superficial, shaped by their own biases, insecurities, and expectations. What truly matters is how we see ourselves, how we feel in our hearts, and how we live our lives according to our values and truth. Letting go of the need for approval doesn't mean that we become indifferent to the feelings or opinions of others. It doesn't mean we stop caring about our relationships or stop valuing the perspectives of people we love and respect. What it means is that we stop seeking validation from the outside world to fill the void within us. We stop giving away our power and allow ourselves to embrace our worth, regardless of what anyone else thinks. This doesn't make us arrogant or self-centered. Rather, it empowers us to live our lives with authenticity, courage, and self-respect. When we release the need for approval, we take back control over our happiness. We stop allowing external judgments to dictate our sense of worth. The opinions of others no longer have the power to make or break us. Instead, we learn to trust ourselves, to trust our intuition, our decisions, and our path. We no longer seek constant reassurance from others, because we know that we are enough just as we are. This shift may not happen overnight, and it may take time to unlearn old habits of seeking validation, but with each step we take in letting go, we become more free. We become more at peace with who we are, and we begin to experience a sense of joy that comes from within, not from external sources. One of the most beautiful and liberating aspects of letting go of the need for approval is that it opens the door to true self-acceptance. We begin to appreciate ourselves, flaws and all. We no longer strive to meet impossible standards or mold ourselves into someone we are not, just to please others. Instead, we embrace our uniqueness, our strengths, our imperfections, and our quirks. We learn to love ourselves for who we truly are, without any conditions. This self-love isn't about being perfect. It's about being real, being honest with ourselves, and living in alignment with our values. It's about freeing ourselves from the burden of constantly trying to measure up to others' expectations, and instead finding contentment in being the best version of ourselves. Ultimately, letting go of the need for approval is a powerful act of self-liberation. It's about reclaiming our inner power, our autonomy, and our sense of self-worth. It's about choosing to live a life that is true to who we are, not who others want us to be. In doing so, we open ourselves to a deeper sense of happiness, fulfillment, and peace. We become the architects of our joy, and in that space, we find freedom. The approval we once sought from others has always been within us, waiting for us to acknowledge it. And when we finally do, we discover that we have been enough all along. Thank you so much for watching. We've covered a lot today about the powerful need for approval and how letting go of it can truly transform your life. It's not easy to break free from seeking validation from others, but remember, the most important approval you need is your own. By embracing your authentic self, trusting your decisions, and reclaiming your happiness, you can live a life that's true to who you are. So, what have you learned so far? Take a moment to reflect on one thing from this video that resonated with you, and how you plan to bring it into practice in your life. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below this video, sharing what stood out to you and what steps you'll take to let go of the need for approval in your journey. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insightful content like this. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to bring you more valuable lessons. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.